to this Smash Mouth Hard Talk Fabricated podcast. I'm your host, Fabrice Fuwanji, aka The GOAT, aka Mr. Too Damn Tall, aka Mr. Too Fresh, Too Clean to me. And I'm here with a special guest today. Introduce yourself, man. Let them know. Let the
Specialist, most specialist, Cefereeno. He went in through the middle name, Cefereeno Lujan.
Oh.
I'm coming from the highest mountain, the lowest valley, in between all.
Oh.
Nothing special on top of that. That's about it, man.
That's about it.
How you doing? How you doing?
How you doing? You on it? You on the Fabricated podcast. People want to see, the different cultures that we got out here.
Sir.
Because people don't know who's in Lubbock or what's in Lubbock. And, I'm going to let y'all know right here. This is one of the truest people I know. One of the funniest, if not one of the most authentic. So, of course, you had to come on the Fabricated podcast. Yeah. But where you from? Matter of fact, let them know where you from.
Man, so this is how I say it. When everyone asks that, I say it just like this. I claim Lubbock. I go, what does that mean? Well, this is where most of my memory started, was here. I was born in Roswell, New Mexico. Shout out to my aliens.
Shout out to the aliens.
Shout out to my aliens.
Hey.
Y'all raiding. I'm being let in through the back door. Yeah, that's where I'm from. We moved here when I was like 3. Mm-hmm. So that's why I claim Lubbock. And I like Lubbock. Yeah, it's pretty soft side over there, man. It's pretty whack.
Right.
It's just family. When we go there, I ain't about it. Nothing against them. I love them. But
in theory, you were just raised here.
Yeah. That's the thing. I was raised here, so it's like a child who's your father, and then it's like, well, what's your definition? The one who raised me, the one who I have his DNA in line in me. So that's kind of my outlook. Is Lubbock raised me, and then at that.
That's crazy.
An odd part of Lubbock, like we're not even a city.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And I was raised like in the country with like goats and horses, chickens and 20-something dogs, and people don't understand me. Like from all that I've done in my life up until this point, It could seem like I don't have no rooting. Like I'm just like some city dude. And it's like, man, if only you knew what I've done
and what you've been through.
Yeah. Not like in some sort of like privileged and or like bragging way,
right.
But in a way like, that have some complexity, and it makes things fun when you can say like, yeah, I know how to do this. I've been there. I've done that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's crazy because you don't really live like, so Lubbock is right here. You kind of live on the outskirts a little bit.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like, and you see how Lubbock, especially been here for a while, you see how Lubbock grew as a city.
It's coming to touch us. That's how close it's growing. Yeah, because at a point in time, when you go to the grocery store, it would take like, I'd say 25 minutes because you got to get into the guts of Lubbock. But now, man, we got the Walmart 12, I ain't gonna lie, 12 minutes down the street. And then as soon as I get out to where I'm at, it's just stars. We sit on 5 acres. There's tons of land out there.
But people, most people are city people, so they don't understand how really luxurious that is. Like when you have land, it's nice.
It's the ultimate blessing is to have space, to have that openness to do what you want to do, and to not feel cluttered. And this is a big thing that I had when I moved to New York to work up there. I never cared for like space and like the horizon, and not like sunsets and sunrises, but just the horizon until I was like in New York City. And I was like, I would like find a certain avenue where I can see the sun setting. And I was like, this is weird. Like you don't see the horizon, you see buildings and buildings, and they're a rock throw away. So it's a big difference, And even the people up there, obviously, there's so many differences between us and them, and just people around us. Like I always use this when I say the globe, if you want to use it in a scientific manner.
Right.
We're in 2019, but each portion, even in America, but globally, they're in different years, whether it be ahead of us
I think
or
about
like
that all the time.
So far behind us. And you think about it, it's like it's mind blowing. When I first went up there, I told everybody, I was like, I think I was there in 2016, and I was like, if Texas in 2016, I said New York's like in 2022, and what they deem what's available, how they conduct themselves, they're accelerated. They're just definitely accelerated, and it's kind of crazy, man. Because there was one point in time where I was with some girls, and I was at a casting, and I was like, man, I was sitting back, and I think it was a Thursday night, and that's where we used to have car meets down here in Lubbock, and I was like, man, I wish I was at home driving my car with the boys.
Right.
And then the girl says, you can drive? And then I thought she was just being funny.
Right.
I was like, yeah. And then she goes, are you serious? And then she hit another girl. She goes, he can drive. And I was like, okay, they're just wilding out, right? Yeah. And then I was like, yeah, I can drive. And then she goes, if we rent a car, could you take us to upstate New York? And I was like, yeah, what do you mean? She goes, I don't have a driver's license.
Yeah.
I have an ID. And I'm
Because
like,
most of them don't need them up there because they always take the tram.
And then finally he was like, yo, you walk to school, you walk to the market, you walk everywhere. And then if you can't walk there or you don't want to, you hop on a subway.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, like there's people who miss a whole thing. Like down here, it's like as soon as you're 16, that's the first thing you want to do.
Get your license.
Is get licensed. And then it's kind of crazy because in that same manner, it's like for us, let's say I had to buy my own car. I had everything's out of my pocket. Nothing against my parents.
Hard work.
They had to do what they had to do to put food in our mouth and have a roof over our head. But I got everything for myself, you know.
Right.
And it's like, oh, you don't have a car at a certain time frame, or you don't got your license. You're not with the pace of society where you're at. But up there, I'm like, yo, so they don't got to worry about that. Like, what do they worry about? And it's tons of other things. You know what I'm saying? Every culture, every grouping of people, wherever they may be, they have different paces of which they go by.
Different values and all that stuff too. Yeah.
It's totally mind blowing when you think about it, man. I got my mind blown numerous times, and I don't feel like my mind has weak walls like straw walls. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I got that fortified brick house.
Nah, that's funny you bring that up because like I'm from Africa, born and raised. Right. And obviously, I told him everything about that, but like. It's crazy because growing up, when I came to the States and I started, so I don't know if you know, my first song of all time is "Pardon Me USA" by Marty Cyrus. I ain't mad at you. Because when I came off the plane, when I first moved there and back in '09, that's the first song I heard. So for me, it's like, okay, I'm in the U.S. And plus, that song is like, okay, certify me that I'm in this place of like freedom. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm looking for that American dream. But it's crazy because now when I look back at that time, I remember we both grew up on the era of like T-Pain and you know all that good music and whenever he dropped what was that song called Bartender, you know, good music, right? But when that dropped in the U.S., the Africa didn't get that till like 2 years later. You know what I'm talking about? I guarantee you right now, Africa just now heard Old Town Road. I guarantee you, they just now heard Old Town Road.
They blessed if that's the case, because that can skip a lot of generations. And
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
archives.
Right, and some people will be like, oh, you know, they're a little bit behind the timeline, but it's kind of crazy because they might see it as a blessing because they still have that like humanized value. You know what I'm saying? Because for instance, like for me, it's sad to see people nowadays where you try to have a conversation with them and they're too busy on their cell phones. Whereas if you go back to Africa right now, somebody talking to you, they don't really care about the cell phones or how many likes they get or how many like, you know, whatever like social impact that they have. They're really mostly about the person to person. That's funny you said that because every little country or continent has like their set time that they're living in currently, and not everybody's on the same plate and all that stuff. So.
I'm gonna go ahead and hop on that escalator about the cell phones, man.
Yeah.
And then like the change and like how we have this superficial. This can get deep, man, quick. I'm gonna tell the truth, stay in the church, man.
Nah, spit it.
There's this sort of like superficial shell that we have to live in. And I say we have to because if you don't, then there's something wrong with you.
That's a fact.
And then if there's something wrong with you, then we gotta find out what it is, one. Two, push you away from the group.
Right, you're not normal.
Because I experienced that when I went to New York and I was modeling, right? So it's all about trying to establish yourself and brand yourself in a sense of who you are. And it's all about social media posts, likes, who you can get to like, who can see your posts, who you can reach. And it's amazing because at one point in time, it was a New York Fashion Week party, right? And so my agent sends it all out to the models and where we're supposed to go. And then I texted him, I was like, yo, do I have to go? And he was like, what do you mean do you have to go? I was like, I would rather not. Like, I'd like to, chill, go to the gym, be at the house, things like that. Mm-hmm. And then he calls me, right? Dude rarely calls, cusses me out. I'm like, yo, this is something new, right? I'm like, what's going on right here? And he says, this is equivalent to like a business meeting. He goes, but this has so much like ability to slingshot you into, oh my gosh, man. So I was like, okay, whatever. I'll go. So I go to the house, do my thing. And speaking of the T-Pain, he really inspired me to get the dreadlocks, man. And so when I was in New York, I had the crispiest, clean dreadlocks.
Yeah.
And so
T-Pain was high key like old version of Gunna. He basically had drip. T-Pain, when you look at him, he basically had drip. When you look at him. Yeah.
So I go there, man, and then to kind of cut through the story, some dude grabs me, right, and. I can't say inappropriately because what's appropriate and inappropriate in that industry, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he grabs me and he says like you're adorable, something like that. And I get a lot of things like that. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? You do you, man. I don't mess around.
Right.
And so he's like, you're adorable. And he was like, what's your name? Told him my name. He goes, what's your agency? Told him my agency. And he's like, all right, thanks, sweetie. And I like walk off. I'm like, cool, whatever, you know, slip off my back, kind of a drip.
Right.
So the next day, my agent messaged me and says, hey, you have an editorial. You booked an editorial. And I was like, what? And usually with editorials, you have to go to a casting, the whole 9 yards. And then I was like, with who? And then he gave me the name. I was like, okay. So I went to Instagram and went to the, what's it called? Whatever that name was. And it was that same guy who had grabbed me at the after week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yo.
And I was like, yo, so it was kind of funny. And then it was kind of crappy in the same way. It was weird. So that's
well, because the interaction between you and him was weird. Because like I feel like he didn't really introduce himself before he grabbed you.
No. No. Like I was walking by, and it wasn't like grab like Donald Trump grab. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it wasn't that. It wasn't like a gangster. You know what I'm saying? Because Donald Trump, low key, high key, John Legend key, he's a gangster.
Facts.
He's a gangster.
Nah,
he's like grabbing my arm, and it wasn't anything aggressive. Like I don't get that anything aggressive or inappropriate. We just grabbed him walking by, and he's like, "You were so adorable," and I was like, "Oh, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, I was looking fly and fresh, and clean. I look like a little baby up there.
Do your thing.
And so that's how that led. And then so I really was like, yo, so these model get-togethers, if you will, whatever, or however you want to call them.
Right.
That's like a business meeting because there's stylists, there's designers, there's what's it called, assistants. There's tons of people there who you have no idea. Me personally, you have no idea who they are, and that can give you your next job, or this gets you your next casting. And then once you get to a certain casting, they know like, why does this person? I remember after I did, what was it? The same thing happened when I booked Nike for the Summer Olympics.
Wow.
It was this lady, and she's like, "Hey, how are you?" And she's such and such, and I was like, "She looks so familiar." I was like, "Man, she looks so familiar," but I couldn't place her. And my first casting when I was in New York, it was with Nike, and I was like, "Yo, this is me. This is what I was made for. This is what I was built for.
This is what I want to do."
This is it. Like I was like, "Yo, Michael Jackson, this is it," and it was it. I get up there, and on my way to the casting, my agent calls me. He's like, "Yo, what shoes do you have on?" I was like, "That's stupid." And all I wore was Puma because Usain Bolt was my idol, right?
He was
all I had was Pumas. And I was like, "Yo, Pumas." He was like, "You can't step onto a Nike floor with anything but Nikes or Converse." And I was like, "Yo," so I had to go buy some shoes, and I had to buy them fast and buy them cheap.
That's probably pretty penny too.
No. I bought them cheap, man, because at the end of the day, you ain't gonna force me to buy nothing that I'm not trying to buy.
Facts.
1 and 2, I'm just a cheap person that comes from my mom's side. So I bought some Nikes.
Nothing wrong with that.
And in Puma, I wore 13, so I told Nike, I was like, "Yo, give me the 13s," and I just grabbed a box, boom, jet, get to the casting. I get there all late, sign up, and what Nike does, which is cool in the castings, is they make you do like it's a movement casting. Most castings are just stills. You take shots, such as unless it's like acting, but most modeling castings is just still shots. They get some shots and then that's it. And Nike, they make you do a little workout. So they tell you what you're gonna do and you do it. So I'm doing my thing, and then I'm doing these box jumps, right? And so I'm box jumping, and then I have like 1 or 2 left. And as I'm jumping up, it like goes slow mo. I was like, crap, I'm probably not gonna make this box jump. And it's not because I couldn't make the box jump, because I'm 6'3", I've jumped easily. I really wish I had the right dimensions, but I'd say a 5'8" person, 5'9" box.
That's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, easily. And this box was probably 3 feet tall. So I'm hopping up there, and I was like, "Yo, I'll probably make it, but from my toes, I'll make it." Ooh. And then as I step on there with my toes, the shoes that they gave me were too big. They were 13 and a half.
Wow.
So the shoe touched it, but there was no toe to reinforce it.
Was no support at the bottom?
Yeah. So
I
busted. Yeah, I fell on my butt at my first casting, man. Damn. And it was like a movie scene. Like all the stuff that they do in movies is like for real. Like all that slow mo. I'm like, oh my god. I wanted to just quit, cry, fly back home to Texas, right? So I get up, I finish the workout. They ask the questions. Long story short, we fast forward, and I'm at this it's called this model kind of a party, and we're talking. And this lady's like all sweet to me and stuff. And she was a real nice, pretty older lady. She was probably like maybe like late 30s, and she was real nice. We talked. I was like, all right. She's like, yeah. Left, and then I came back, went to Nike casting, and when I signed in, I was guy 143. I remember this pretty good because it's a lot of guys, and you and I know math, and that puts you below 1% of a chance of getting a job.
Facts.
And easily, that was probably they probably had 2 or 3 more hours left in the casting, and most models show up late, so they probably went to the easy like 200s. Easy.
How many did they take?
Well, on the list they had 500.
Wow.
Yeah, so, but not all models go to all of them, because some people are like, I don't care for Nike, but they can still request you to come, because it's per request. They go to each agency and they find the models that they want to come through. They come through. So I go in there, and my boy Mac goes first.
You knew him? Y'all went together?
Huh?
Y'all went
together?
together?
Yeah, we went to the same casting together, but
okay.
you going separate. So Mac went in first, and then I went in, and he was in and out probably in like 4 or 5 minutes. It's like, cool, whatever. And then I asked him, I saw him, he's kind of breathing. I was like, he's like, man, we did some box jumps or some things, and I asked him questions, like, whatever, cool. So I went in there, and the lady was like, hold on. And then I was like, I look at her, and they have a big old, what's it called, studio light on you, so you know you're kind of blinded.
Right.
And then she's like, okay, hold on, guys, take 5. And I was like, oh my God, what's going on, man? I was like, it's always something with Nike. I can't catch a break with Nike. And the lady comes to the stage, and she's like, I met you the other night. And I was like, yeah. And she goes, come over here. And so we went and sat on a sofa for like 10, 15 minutes. And I had my shirt off, right? Because they want to make sure you look good and stuff like that. I had my shirt off, and she has her arm around me, and we're just talking about random stuff, right? And I honestly felt like a little child, and she was like a sugar mama in a sense.
So you felt catered.
Yeah. I felt catered, but I knew that she had power control, like it's weird power control.
Like you're still here for the business.
Yeah. I was like, yo, she's the director here, and I get a job or I don't get a job. So long story short, I walk out, I ask my boy Mac, I was like, Mac, what did you do? Tell me again. And he tells me, I was like, bro, I didn't do none of that. I legit sat on the couch with her. I remember her from the other night. He's like, for real, man? He's like, dude, you probably get the job. I was like, nah, I won't. Next day, agent calls and said, I booked the campaign to go to Iceland. Yeah. But I booked the campaign. It was like $25,000. Yeah. It was like a 3 or 4 week shoot, and it was coming up pretty quick.
So you didn't even do the box jumps?
Huh?
You didn't do nothing.
No. I you already look in shape. At the end of the day, if you look in shape, it's good enough, because you're still doing stills, unless they have you doing some athletic things. At the end of the day, I've seen people who got the job and they're really not runners, and they get a running campaign, and they're doing they're running for ASICs. But a real athlete can see that they're like awkwardly running. But at the end of the day, this is what Nike told me, and what it was Nike, Reebok, Puma, ASICs. When they're going for models, they don't want someone to look like the 10 out of 10 that everyone desires in their mind, because when that's on the ad, you dismiss it so quick. People who are normal, and I'm not saying I wasn't normal, but people who are like normal, you look at it and you go, yeah, right. But you see somebody who's like a 6 out of 10, not as in looks, but as in like their physique, because they're not flexing hard, whatever the case may be, and you go, it seems more obtainable. You're like, yo, that's something that I can probably get after. Okay. So it kind of encourages you more to buy the product. At the end of the day, it's all marketing.
Dang.
So
that's all competitive.
Yeah.
And all that stuff.
I talked to my agent, and he's like, yeah, you got your passport? And I was like, no. He was like, they're shooting in 3 weeks. Yeah. You can't get your passport fast enough. What? I was like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. So I went to the post office, talked to them, and I couldn't get it fast enough. So there was no way that I can go with them to Iceland. I had to tell my agent, tell them. Legit, I think that was the main thing that shattered my hopes when I was up there. It was kind of my fault, because I was supposed to get that situated beforehand, and I didn't. But then on the back end, they went ahead and gave me the Olympics one, where they shot up there. It was like at some junior high on the side of Central Park. Right. And I did, this sounds like cocky, but I did such a good job that they didn't need me for the second day of shooting. I got all my shots done.
On the first day.
And on the second day, it sucked, because that's when they had all the, all the Olympians. They had Carmelo, they had Kyrie, everybody who was on the Olympic squad, because it was a basketball shoot. Yeah. Everybody that came the next day, and I didn't get to meet none of them or nothing. So I was like, yo, man, at a point in time when you do too good that you miss out, it's pretty garbage.
Yeah.
But I like to say this about like this social media, like cell phones, technology in a sense, how it's this shell that 100% like it's taken away from this human to human interaction that we need so bad. That's why like a lot of relationships and just friendships are destroyed or hindered, man, because we're not used to having this. It's like a fragile egg, and we're walking around, and if you leave it on the counter and you're not knowing it's an egg, you think it's cool. You think it's like a little rock, but it's not. It's so fragile, and we live in this society to where people are hurt.
Because most people now find out most information through social media now.
Man, yeah.
And not only that, but like most information about people they know. Like they only find out news about what somebody did, not because that friend told them to, because of social media. Like, so, say somebody had a baby. Most people find out about their baby through social media. Man, they don't call to tell you like, oh, I got a child. Yeah. I got a couple friends that did that and happened like that. I mean, I can't blame them at the same time, but at least let me know first, you know. So it's kind of weird. It's very we're losing out.
That's what it and like I get a lot of complaints from friends, stuff like that, and they'll say like, "Hey, bro, give me your Snapchat," and I'll say, "Do you want my number?" Like, "No, give me your Snap, give me your IG." I'm like, "Why do you have to?" Like at the end of the day, and I always clown people because I look. Okay, if you think of like the box, people say like think outside the box. No, I'm not thinking. I'm not putting my mind outside of the box. I'm physically putting my body outside of the box. You know what I'm saying? Facts. And a lot of times I gotta go in or go up to the box. You know, just imagine some like 880 kind of a rinky-dink box. You know what I'm saying? You know, yeah, you know what I'm saying? The box with the squiggly lines. You know what I'm saying? So I go up there and I see what's happening in there, so I can try and be up to par with what they're doing inside the box. And I was like, yo, if you really want to get a hold of me, because imagine, like, if you gave me your cell phone, I can log you out of all your social media accounts. I can log back in. And then you can get a hold of me on that phone, right? But if you're coming to, like, if you want to call it a hard line, if you're coming to my digits, my 10-digit number, I guess it's 10. I'm not doing that right now. You're coming to my cell phone. If I leave my cell phone in Africa, that text is coming to my cell phone that was left in Africa. It's not coming to something that I can log on anywhere, we'll say in the world, but anywhere where they have my 5G, what's it called, waves that are going to kill us sooner or later.
Basically.
You see what I'm saying? So yeah, it's a tough place to live, man, because I know with my girlfriend, when we, even up until this point as we're dating, I'm like, yo, like I don't have to, I was telling her, I don't have to message you back. And I was like, if I go to the store, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm a person, I like to leave my phone in the car. I like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not always on it.
Yeah. And I don't want to always be on it. Right. And it's not like people always think it's like I'm intentionally going against the grain. Nah, just imagine like if you watch, you know, my Fast and the Furious, R.I.P. Paul Walker, when they pull off, when that super kind of pulls off, there's a gradual pull off. Like, like I'm still driving, we still having a good time, dog, but I'm going to kind of go a little bit to the left. Yeah. And that's pretty much how it is.
That's funny because we were talking about that earlier. It's like, okay, when you start to not like text people back like fast or whatever, you're kind of considered an outcast in social life. Man. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing with me. Like I have like people ask me all the time, what's your Snap? I always give it to them, but when they message me, I reply like 3, 4, 5 hours because I'm not always on there, right? But if you text me on my phone, I'm already on there. I'm on because that's more important. Maybe it's a business call that I have to do or whatever it is. So I'm on there.
It's kind of crazy because you look at of all the output that people are putting out, and it makes us feel, anybody, I can't just say us, it can make anybody on the outside feel like they're not doing it right by a certain age. Like I graduated out of homeschool when I was 16. I'm 26, 10 years later, and I haven't even got my undergraduate yet. I haven't even got my bachelor's of science. Anything, you know what I'm saying? And I can tell like, yo, man, I missed out. I could have been down here. I could have been there. Someone else has done this. Someone else has done that. But whenever you're trying to run someone else's pace, it's like God didn't give you that equipment.
That's real.
He gave you your equipment. He gave you your luggage. Run your pace. Right. And if you try and check, I love my mom. She has all the sayings. It's called keep up with the Jones. And that's just saying like if the Jones get a new house, now you talking to your husband. Hey, I need a new house. We got to get a new house. The Jones get a new car. We got to get a new car.
The same thing.
You keep trying to keep with the Joneses before you know it. You're going to be in this pace that you can't sustain. Right. And then there's all these breakdowns, these cracks. And that's the thing that happens in our society is there's this pace of like, they always have to look the best. You have the freshest haircut. You got to make sure that when you post, like, it's the right sunlight and you're in the right corner.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about that. Hold on. Let me just share real quick, but we got to talk about that.
Man.
This shit, but look, because, like, here's my thing on that. And it's very big because you always people always assume you got to have the right poster, like the right lighting. And it's kind of sad with girls too, because they always feel like they got to post their body pictures to get more views and more likes or whatever, right? And it kind of leads to depression. That's why depression is very prevalent in America. Like when I came to the States, I didn't know what depression was. I didn't even know what mental health was. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't.
Not in Africa.
Because when I grew up, your mental health was, hey, sleep on it. You know what I'm talking about? You know when your mom will tell you go sleep on it. You know what I'm talking about? So that's what I grew up on, and it's really like, and that's what I did when I'm sad. I take a nap at 2:00. If I'm taking a nap, you know I'm sad. So and I slept on it. When you wake up, you should be good. But now it's like, okay, whenever you meet a couple girls or whatever, they're usually. I'll say for example, right? 2 years ago, I think it was 2016. I remember I went to a pool party. I'm not doing math right now. That's
all right, man.
I'm tripping.
That's all right. Yeah.
But there was this bikini suit that came out. You might remember it too. But it was like the 2-piece, and it was like pink, blue, and like basically pastel colors. It was it was like the same one. So I went to this pool party out here. I think it was over here up north. And bro, I swear to you, when I walked in there, all the girls was wearing the same suit, 2-piece suit.
Yeah.
I mean, like more than 10. And I was like, okay, this went viral. And I remember I saw why they was wearing. I think it was like Kylie Jenner that wore it or something.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so they're basically basing their outfits off of that. And it's kind of crazy because most girls base their standards off what they see online. And it's like, okay, what if you do that? You lose you and you look at your quality.
Yep.
That's why most girls aren't really happy with the dudes that they're with because they're not like certain guys or like who they want them to be. So I really hate that. So social media is really ruining our lives.
Social media as I'm gonna call it like plagiarism, like academic plagiarism.
Yo, that's real.
There's no authenticity, and I
Right.
can't speak correctly. That's my mama's fault. But y'all understand the word that I'm trying to say. They're
Authenticity.
not all. There you go. They're not. I got you on the 3. You got me on there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But no, I'm a big proponent against that. It's so it hurts me, and I mean it to the fullest. It really does hurt me when I see, because I work at a clothing store, and there's girls coming in there about to flock, and at the register they'll be like, "Is this cute?" And I'll give my honest opinion, and I don't try and give. I'm very very neutral. Like I'll tell them, like, look, like, oh, you're just trying to sell this to me. I was like, it's not commission based. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I said, and I tell her now, I am not flirting with you. I say that very often. I am not flirting with you. I'm being honest. I
You
like
a
it.
wholesome
It's
man.
nice. And they go, how does it look on me? And I go, I'm not gonna imagine that on you. I said, because I have a girlfriend.
You a wholesome man.
And they'll laugh.
Yeah.
And they'll laugh. And I go, but it's a good combo. The colors work. I was like, if those are your right sizes and you're comfortable wearing it, whatever it may be, it could be a 2-piece, it could be a regular dress. As you're comfortable wearing it, I said, it looks nice. It's a nice piece of clothing. But yeah, they're so reliant. Like, well, I'm gonna buy it, and then if my friend doesn't like it, I'm gonna return it. And I'm like, how are you gonna? And they buy a lot of stuff too.
Yeah.
How are you gonna buy this and then make sure your friend likes it? And if she likes it, then it's okay. Where have we lost ourselves that if I like it, that's all that matters.
All that matters. Why do something and base your judgment off what somebody else thinks of you?
Then you become completely vulnerable. It's like you wake up, and instead of like putting on this armor for a society that we live in, you walk out like butt naked with like those like Roman like garments on. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I got this robe on. That's not gonna stop nothing. That ain't gonna stop no heat, no smoke. You ain't got no ability to protect yourself. You're going out there being vulnerable, and it's very, very hard for me to look at that. And that's the other thing with makeup. Makeup has its pros and its cons. I'll put that there, but I hate when it comes to the point when you're like, yo, what's up? What's happening? Can I come over? And they say, I don't have my makeup on.
Right, give me 45 minutes.
Yeah, I'll always laugh and I go, I don't have mine on either. My hair's not done. And
You
I
say
go,
that for real?
Yeah, bro, I don't play. I'll say, I don't have mine on either.
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
my hair's not done either.
Oh, what's that?
I legit surprised my girlfriend. You can call it surprise. She probably thinks it's a surprise. She probably thinks I'm like ambushing her. But I'll just show up, legit just show up. If she's not there, then she's not there. But I'll just show up, bust in the door, and I'm like, hey, we're going to such and such. Be ready in 5.
Dang.
And I can't lie. She's not always ready in 5 or 10 or 30. But the idea is it sounds dumb to get her trained. I'm trying to get this mindset like, hey, you're here. You're going with me because you love me because we love each other.
Yeah.
It's not about what Billy Bob and any other cool name thinks about us.
And you're
know what I'm
comfortable in
saying?
your own skin.
That's
what's most important.
as soon as you're comfortable in your own skin, that's like all of our generations like, I gotta find who I am. That's the worst thing to lose. Like, it's like my dad when we were kids. Where's my, where's my wrench? Where's my light? Where's the flashlight? It's in your pocket. So it's like, I'm trying to find who I am when you're with yourself
all the time.
Legit 24/7.
All the time.
Legit, and you're trying to find, like, you're not lost. There's not some sort of ghost version of you that you got to go unlock.
That's some real
it's
stuff.
not. You're with it all the time. It's just idea is that you keep changing it according to someone else's perspective.
Damn.
And it's tough. So back to the makeup, I don't mind it in the sense if a certain blemish is like, yeah, this is concern. This is, as a guy, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
As a real guy, capital G-U-Y.
Capital.
Yeah, capital G-U-Y. The best thing you can do, I can guarantee you, all it requires for me and you is I'll call it my curl activator, wet my hair, put in my my creams, do a little shake, or pull it back.
Yeah.
Boom. If my little weak beard's lined up, if I know my breath ain't stanky, and I got a little lotion on, so I'm
Of
not
course.
ashy.
Can't be ashy.
Yeah, it can't be ashy.
Can't
Ashy
be
is not
ashy.
classy, y'all. Okay, it's
Right.
2019. Okay, you got the Dollar Tree, you can get lotion.
That's
on
the motto
lotions.
right there. Ashy ain't classy. Ashy ain't classy.
So what we
Nice.
have to do is simple, just like small grooming things. You know what I'm saying? And girls, man, it pains me when they be like, yeah, let's say they have an 8 a.m. class. I'm talking about, I get up at 6. I'm like, dear God, if I have to be somewhere at 8, I can roll out of my bed at 7:35.
Yo, facts.
Clothes, snap, don't eat a bowl of cereal.
Quick shower
brush,
too.
Bro, even a quick shower, brush my teeth. I'm in my car by like 8:42.
Yep.
Boom, zoom, zoom, zoom.
Gone.
And so I'm like, they're missing out on sleep. They're missing out on so many things just to put on this fake appearance. And then when we see them without it, no lies, we're kind of startled. Not in a bad way, as in like you're ugly, but
Right.
you're a slight different person.
It's almost
from my eyes.
Yeah.
My eyes, I hear your tone. Everything's the same, but when I look at you, it's a bit different. And it's I applaud girls when they don't wear any makeup and all they do is do the regular things like I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? They just, you can always do your hair because you have hair. Unless you don't have hair, you do your own thing. But, you know what I'm saying? Just small things. I have to say brush your teeth because that's stank. We don't want dragon breath. We ain't trying to
No,
be
I don't
like
want
that.
that. We don't want that.
Brush your teeth, you know what I'm saying? If you have lotion, any problems, do that kind of deal. If girls got facial hair, if you need to brush it. But just small things just to have you ready so you don't have to go that huge mile. And then I can guarantee you 9.5 guys out of 10 would prefer a girl who does not wear makeup heavily. And if any at all, because we'll get used to that and it's more of a raw version. It's like I always say, people imagine throwing like a blanket over like stuff on the floor, like clothes on the floor, throw a blanket over there. And you can say all day, there's nothing there, it's just a blanket, but it's not. And that's kind of how we feel as guys. Like, yo, so you wear this makeup, yeah, you do look good. And some people, they don't look good. So I'm not going to lie, you need to watch some more tutorials.
You learn that foundation or something.
I don't know what that stuff's called, but you're applying it incorrectly.
Yeah.
Read the directions on the back. But no, I can guarantee you, 9.5 guys out of 10 can do without girls' makeup.
Yo, facts.
We'll be happier. It's not gonna get on us. Not gonna get on our clothes. We can come pick you up. You can come over sooner. We can go over sooner. There's so many things that can be. And then y'all get more sleep. At the end of the day, y'all get more sleep. You get more time to enjoy yourself, like we do. Like how we be chilling, just hanging out. So like, I'm gonna be there in 10 minutes, and we can hang out till 5 minutes till.
Right.
Instead of having like go and put makeup on, things like that. It's just very time consuming, and it's something. First off, I call it a money pit. It's $1 billion industry. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and imagine if y'all didn't put money into that industry and you put it towards something else. Anything else, absolutely anything else. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big thing with our society, man. It's just they're trying to put on this fake of like I have the best smile, I have the best this, I have the best that.
Yeah.
I know when I was pretty heavy into social media, I would do some posts that I would look awkward. I would purposely choose an awkward picture to be like, yo, this is me.
Yeah.
Like, yes, this is a still image, and
but it's realistic.
Like, because it's so easy just to post the best things, and then you can even be like, yo, if that's not me, or I'm fat right now, or this or that, and then you get into this own problem that you've created.
That's a fact, and honestly, because like, and I like how you said that really, because you meet some people on social media. Say you meet somebody on social media first, right? You'll meet them, and you'll be like, oh, this. I like what I see. Scroll past the first 9, and then the next 18, the next back and forth, and you're like, okay, this is what they live in. And then you meet them, you're like, yo, you don't do none of that.
Nah, man.
You don't look like none of that. You don't behave or seem like none of that. And like, most of the girls would post like, the professional like weightlifters. They be posting like that with they back booty turn around and like trying to show off. And it's like, yo, you don't do none of this in public. Matter of fact, you probably watch anime behind the scenes.
For real.
And but you don't want to tell people because I guess watching anime is weird.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. And I really hate that. That's why and bro, okay, so let's get into this can of beans right here.
Oh man, I like beans. I'm in Texas, baby. I like me some beans.
Boil me some gone. Anyway, but I've been single, matter of fact, for it's that can of beans. I've been single since 2012. Boy. 7 years.
Hey, the Mayans had something right about you, huh? The end of you was 2012.
They calculated it. And I've been single since 2012. It's been a blessing and a curse because at first, because 2012 I was 13, 14, right? It's been a blessing and a curse because I look at it and I'm like, okay. So in 2014, I got heavy into social media and all that stuff till like 2016. And then I looked at it and I was like, okay, everybody got a girlfriend on social media right now. And because I saw that, I was like, okay, I need to have one. And this is how I should treat her based on what Drake posted, or maybe like what Travis Scott posted because he's not with Kylie or whatever, or based off like whatever I saw. And that was like how I would live my life for that temporary time. And then like I grew up, I got a little bit older. I started doing my own thing, and I was like, okay, I got off social media. I took a break from it, right? And I come back and I see these things, and I'm like, okay, most of these people that I valued at the time are now broken up.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? At the time, I remember. So when I was heavy in it, Justin Bieber was with Selena Gomez. At the time, I was like, oh, he's posting about her, she's posting about him. This is how it should be. I need a girlfriend ASAP. I take a break. I come back. They're separated. What's going on? My mind is completely different. Like, you know, thinking, and I'm like, okay, maybe it's not what I should be in or whatever.
Hey, you know, we've been through. We're going through. There's things that people don't. You know, I can't explain it. This is it's something that you can't explain. But this, you just look at them, and it's honestly, it's rewarding and it's beautiful in its own way. I'm not gonna lie. Like I told my brother, I was like, yo, I love being mixed. I love being facts. I love it.
Can't relate, but facts.
Well, in a sense, like a minority. I was like, I love it. Even though the cards don't give us the ability to
do much like that.
Well, in a sense, like if I was talking to my girlfriend about I'm not sure of the casino terminology, but I think it's called blackjack. I'm gonna call it 21, but I think it should be blackjack. Whatever, you get more than 2 cards in a sense, right?
Yeah.
But we'll call it blackjack 21. Dealer says, bada bing, bada boom. You get all your cards, right? And you look, you know what I'm saying? You're like, snaps, I got 11. That's actually a good pool if you get 11, you know what I'm saying? You're in a safe zone. But whatever pool you get, you're like, oh man, those are your start off cards. They're not always great. Somebody definitely pulled a 21. I know people who pulled a 21.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Those are the cards that they got. They didn't ask for them. They were given those cards.
That's what they got to do.
So what you can do is you can say, you know what? I'm gonna complain about the cards that I've gotten. Oh, it's not fair. No, the deck was blended, right? You know, the guy or the gal did their thing. Or you can do your little tap and get you another card, and then you bust. Sad. But you still went out there and did what you can do, right? Or you tap, and then boom, you have that 11. You get a king, queen, jack.
Damn.
Boom. You got a 21.
Yeah, 21.
That's life, right? So we get our cards, and let's say I use myself personally. I'm trying to go for a mathematics major, ME minor. I would like to get my master's in math and teach at junior college. That's really the goal. Mm-hmm. Let's say I double tap and I go to graduate school, but I bust. Is it over? No, it's just the game. Just keep going. But then what if I get that and I get in at junior college and I can teach some classes because you can do part time at a university with a master's. Yeah, you can do part time. Yeah. Boom, I got that 10. See, and then there's some people who are just they're blessed. They're just blessed, and they get that 21 on the first pull. And you can't be mad at that. But the idea is you can't just quit because your first cards you got were not in your favor. You just can't quit because you don't know what that deck holds. And then what you can do too is you can bluff your way out. Like, yo, man, like I'm holding, and then people start tapping, and boom, and then they bust.
And you're still, you're not up there yet, but you're winning because they bust.
You're winning, and that can be not just that particular philosophy, but it can be applied in so many areas of casino games. I hate to say that, but casino games,
kind
man.
of brings up social media too.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. Back to that pace.
Hold that thought, because we'll go back to crackhead. We'll go back to crackheads.
I like crackheads, man.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. I like crackheads.
Look.
Okay.
Crackheads, druggies, the people in society who can handle it and cannot handle it. It's pretty spectacular because we all, and if you don't, then you don't. But most people know somebody who's doing some sort of a drug, right? Whether it be a legal drug, an illegal drug, or a mix of both in between, count the greens. It don't matter. The idea is that's a great example to pull from society. People who know what's going on, even though you can get into a twisted way. Someone's like, no, it's just people who smoke cigarettes. No, I'm good. I'm like, yo, dog, like, champ, come on, for real. Like, the stats tell you, everything tells you not to do it. You're still doing it. That's I give you kudos because you are taking that and saying, you know what? They say yay, I say nay.
I say nay.
So it's that personal choice. But if you look at that group of people, you can always have something that's dangerous and handle it well. And I can't say dangerous as in like life-threatening dangerous, but for it to be what it is, and mind-altering, whatever, it can be painkillers, you know what I'm saying? That's how James Brown died. People don't know that.
People don't know that.
James Brown, he started taking painkillers because if you seen his show, that nigga was flying, bro. He was practically learning
all
how to
over
fly.
the place. Yeah, all over
Jumping
the place.
off of pianos, off of stages. His knees had to be...
He took too many painkillers.
But he had to take it because he was giving everything he got. You know what I'm saying?
For the bread, yeah.
You know, I don't think it was for the bread, man.
You think so?
I think he poured his soul out for soul. I really think he did. I don't think it was for the bread. Even Michael Jackson, man, like, once you get enough money, like, he had Neverland, he had so many things, but yet he was so meticulous on his craft, man. Yeah. So, in a sense, back to crackheads. Mm-hmm. That was their crack, and they didn't handle it well.
Wow. I see that analogy.
Yeah, they didn't handle it well. Look at somebody else. I'm thinking of somebody who, Celine Dion. I don't know much about her. She Caucasian, but she found her drug, and that was it. Look how she's still carrying on.
Right, like you said, people that can handle it, and some who can't. Like unfortunately, Whitney Houston, she found hers, and she couldn't do it.
Couldn't handle it.
Couldn't handle it.
But Bobby Brown did. You see what I'm saying? Hey. No. There's those crackheads who do like, no, I got it, man. It ain't gonna get me, and it didn't get him. Yeah. And it's amazing when it's just dumb to refer it back to like drugs, but that's with anything that can be enjoyable or addictive, which can be anything. Kids in Fortnite, people who are continuously on Instagram, Facebook, or Snapchat. People who I'm a YouTube head myself. I love YouTube. You can find anything on YouTube. I love YouTube. People who are into cars, anything that can be addictive, and people who don't claim I don't have anything. Yeah, sitting on that couch, hot, turns out. That's the term of the couch potato. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So anything that can be done, and it can be done continuously, and you tend to gravitate towards that, you got to find out what kind of a crackhead are you. And what are you doing? And the sooner that you can realize that, then you know how to conduct yourself, how to like, okay, this is dangerous for me. Yeah. I was in the car community, right? And I know a lot of guys, and they're not good crackheads in the car community. They're always racing. They have no brakes on the train. They don't have the comprehension to say enough is enough, too much is too much. We're in the city. There's this, there's that. They're always trying to prove something. There's people who are like me. I'm not saying I got all the sauce, but me, I'm like, yo, I'm cool. I'm just Cadillac, and I'm just in this thing. I'm enjoying myself. You see what I'm saying? And I see people like, boom, that's the drug world. That's crackheads. There's people who can take it, and they just cooling out. There's people who take it, and more, and before you know it, they laid out. They laid over.
That's crazy.
So anything that can be addictive, anything that can be, it's just addictive.
That's your crack. That's your crack.
You have to figure out who you are, and then at the end of the day, do your best to listen to somebody who's potentially close. You know what I'm saying? And it's nothing wrong. Like I was talking about, people always want help from somebody who has a big following. They want help from somebody who has
the clout. If you could say.
Yeah. From somebody who's not next to them. Mm-hmm. Like, I would rather like watch a video and have some guy on YouTube say, hey, yeah, man, make sure whatever is your passion, I'll use a different word, not crackheads, whatever your passion is, that you do it in a manner that it doesn't destroy your relationships. I'll watch that and be like, yeah, but then you can come low-key being my friend, be like, yo, dog, man, you probably should, you're out there all the time racing, man. It's not, I'm kind of terrified about that. Whatever the case is, I'm like, no, it's like we can't take information from someone who's close to us. It has to also from somebody else who's outside the box, right, and will absorb that. When they have no idea who we are, and it's not that their information is south side or wrong, but I always take it like if someone has enough guts to tell me, they're not trying to stop me. They're trying to
help you.
They're trying to slingshot me somewhere else.
Elevate you.
They're trying to elevate me. You see what I'm saying? And you should be able to tell when someone's trying to elevate you or pull you down.
Right. And that's what people don't understand. Most people don't get that. They don't get that. You can really just learn anything from anybody and everybody. Like, you can learn probably some people don't understand. They can learn the most valuable lesson from a homeless person.
Dr. Jordan Peterson, this guy, he's the truth. He's our version of all the stuff we're talking about. He has it figured out. You see what I'm saying? But it's hard to get people to jump on his bandwagon. I'm on his bandwagon. I'm like,
you on that?
I'm day one.
What'd you say his name was?
Dr. Jordan Peterson.
I bet. I'm gonna check him out.
Man, it's gonna shake your boots. Okay. Your work boots, strap them tight. Strap your Timbs tight, steel toe.
It's gonna shake.
He talks about, he has I forgot what it is. I think it's like 10 rules to life. But one of them is listen to everybody as if they have something important to give you.
Facts.
Because you can dismiss them. You'll never capture anything. You'll never grasp anything. Right. But as soon as you allow them, because like I always talk about this when I used to go to church a lot. I still go to church a lot. But my mom and dad would say, eat the meat and spit out the bone. Actually, my grandpa would
Right.
say that.
My mom would say that too.
And he gave that to my mom. My mom picked it up, and then that's what she tells me, eat the meat and spit out the bone. So if I'm telling you something like, yeah, man, you know, such and such, about this, how you change your oil, you take the filter. You're like, I know. I've done that. That's the bone. Spit that out.
Bone, yeah.
If I taste the meat, I'm like, what you want to do is put your new filter is pull out that little ring and put some of that new oil on there so it's easier to come out next time. And you go, oh, I didn't know that. That's the meat. Eat the meat, spit out the bone. But as soon as you dismiss somebody at the beginning, then you'll never find that meat. It's all bone.
People don't realize that meat is well seasoned. It's well seasoned.
Man.
Well seasoned.
And even if it's a little bit left on the bone.
Right.
Sometimes someone can give you a whole steak.
Right.
And then boom, you can spit out the bone. But every once in a while, it's just a little meat on there. But if you take that meat, man, it's so powerful. It's so powerful, and that's why when I'm talking to someone, it could be anybody. It was just I was at the grocery store the other day, had on my little NASA jacket, and this old guy, he was in his little what's it called? Those little carts in the market.
Little caddy.
He almost reversed into me, right? But I'm cool. I ain't no sweat, you know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hop, skip out the way. He was getting some hot dogs. I was getting some hot links. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
And he was like, is that a real NASA jacket or you just picked it up somewhere? And I was like, the nerve of this Negro, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's a drip, right? It's a drip, right?
And then I said, I just picked it up somewhere. I go, but hopefully one day I can get a real one. In a sense, I'm saying like I would like to work for NASA, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I'm only asking that because my dad worked for NASA. I was like, for real?
Whoa.
He was like, yeah, my dad was so good at math that he got clipped from it as an undergraduate. And he goes, he was so good at it that he ended up doing physics. And he goes, and he didn't even like physics. He said, so he went and got a master's in physics. I said, for real? He's like, yeah. And this is, I mean, you can, this guy had legit one tooth coming out. He was bald up here at the long, what's it called, mane in the back, just raggedy. You can dismiss him as like some scum of the earth.
Wow.
And I was like, okay. He was like, yeah. And he was talking about how his dad worked for NASA when they were putting a man on the moon for the first time. I was like, really? He's like, yeah. He goes, I was like, I'm a math major. Like, that would be a good, an avenue that I would want to explore. He goes, give me some pointers, And I was like, wow, it was amazing.
Wow.
I was so blown away that I gave him the time of my day.
Right.
I didn't dismiss because of the way he looked, his appearance. He was grabbing like cheap hot dogs and he had bologna in his cart. I could have dismissed him and just threw him underneath the bus. Yeah. But I didn't. I gave him time of day because I said, this maybe he had, and he definitely had some goal. And he goes, if you're going to do it, keep pushing for it.
All that just from a
he said, yeah, if you're going to do it, keep pushing for it. He goes, anybody can do it.
Wow.
And I was like, thank you, sir. And then I walked, and that was it. And I was like, wow, it was so powerful just giving him the time of day and allowing him to, whatever bone he threw at me, I bit off the meat. I was like, yo, man, and that's the push. You see what I'm saying?
Crazy.
So
that's real.
Everybody's had experiences and they've been through things. And if you can give them that time of day for them to, they can shoot so many bones at you.
Right.
But then as soon as one of them has some meat, snag that meat because that's going to build your arsenal, build your toolbox. We're all handyman.
We're all handyman.
And
awesome.
If you only have a hammer, you only can fix so many problems.
Yeah.
Get that wrench. Get the screwdriver.
Get all that work. That's crazy you say that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's crazy you say that because I get a little hookup. So yesterday, matter of fact, I had Chinese, and I went to Penang.
Konnichiwa, my brother.
Hey, arigato gozaimasu. But I had Chinese, and I got the bigger plate because I was starving all day because I'm moving.
You get a lot of meat on your bowl.
Yeah, hey,
you
bro.
get the big plate.
I'm out here. But I got it for a bowl. I got it for the price of a bowl. Shout out to the homie up there. So a bigger plate's $10.
You heard?
Right? I got that just for $6. Yo, I walked out thinking, God, you know what I'm talking about? I was really in it.
Look at that big man.
Right. And crazy because how I met the dude was I actually threw a party here at my crib. And the dude was, I think he was back here straight up he was just smoking. He was the guy. The thing is, all the people smoking inside my house. I took him outside so I could go and smoke. And he was just doing his thing and I was like, man. Actually, he was smoking inside. Matter of fact, he was smoking inside. I was like, man. I would let him chill, but I'm going to say something. And I was like, no, I'm going to let him chill. And then I kept on DJing whatever. And I was like, I don't like that. I'm going to say something. And I'm the thing is, I'm a chill guy.
Yeah, you don't want to start no rap.
Right. I like to interfere. And I was like, and then 30 minutes later, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go tell him he can smoke outside. So I go up to him, like, he's like, yeah. I'll smoke outside. It's all cool. And I was like, all right. He goes, hey, grab my Snapchat. We'll be cool. I was like, okay, cool. Whatever. I grabbed the Snapchat. And then fast forward, like, a whole year later, this dude works at Panda Express. Yeah, so I go up there, I got my fried rice, I got my compal, I'm talking about orange chicken Beijing, something like that, the teriyaki, and the sweet and sour sauce. And he's like, yo, I got you with the hookup, $6. Every time I go up there, $6 as far as I know.
He says $6.
As far as I know. You know what I'm talking about? And just because I forced that interaction, it pays off in the future. And that's how most of my friends, funny story again. So my friend Robbie, he actually, he'll be on the podcast hopefully sometime soon. And he lives there. He's the one that told me to live here with him. And yeah, so I met him in soccer. And he was cold at soccer. Matter of fact, he was on my team. Is
that when I scored twice on y'all? He was on that team?
He was on that team every time. Like, he was a right back, big swole white dude, German. German with Ronaldo shoes. Right. So how I met him is a funny story because we had a soccer class together at Tech and at university, and I didn't. So what happened was he came up to me out of nowhere. I'm like, I don't even know this dude. I don't know what he wants, but he said, "Hey, you seem pretty cool." I was like, okay, cool. I thank you.
You're not wrong, though. You're not wrong.
I think I had something completely other in my mind at the time. And then I'm like, okay, cool. And then he goes, and then that was it. That was it for that day. The next day he comes back, he's like, he didn't say anything because he knew I wasn't really interested. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go talk to him. I'm like, hey, bro, you seem cool. You seem cool as well. Where are you from? And I found out he's from Germany. And he likes the German soccer team. Mm-hmm. And that's how we got acquainted again. The next day I find out even more that, okay, this guy, not only is he loves soccer, he watches the Premier League, the Bundesliga, and all that stuff. So and he's good at soccer, right? And then the next day, I find out, okay, this dude drives a Benz. I'm like, oh, this dude is definitely on to something. Like, he's a cool guy. So he actually invites me. That's how I found out he drove the Benz, all black. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm like, okay, he knows what's up. So we started driving around to the lake, and I'm like, this dude got me going into the lake. I'm finna die. Right? I'm finna die. It was all cool. We fished a little bit, didn't catch nothing, but it was whatever. At the lake, he goes, hey, you wanna come over to my house? I'm making some chicken. Being honest, white dude telling me that he making some chicken, I'm like, okay, this is a trap. This gotta be a bait. He gotta be a racist. I'm definitely finna die. But then I go over, come to find out, he just made some chicken, and I tell you, bro, that's one of the best chickens a white dude that's probably ever made. I ain't even BSing you, bro. But yeah, he's good people. And you know what I'm saying? And just because forcing those interactions, I probably made one of my closest friends. So and it's one of those things. So I'm very really thankful. And see, if it was social media, I probably would have just added in there and never, you know what I'm saying, never talked to him. So people don't.
Man, a human-to-human interaction is so powerful. Mm-hmm. It's so powerful because everyone kind of says this, but you can't get a vibe of someone's tone, their body language. And I'm not huge into body language, man, because my dad was military, and when he had because I got 5 other brothers, so there's 6 boys, and when we get in trouble, we all be lined up, and this is me all day.
You can tell who guilty.
Yo, no, you can't.
You
so
can't?
Devil's a lie, you can't.
What?
Yo, and he's always like, the devil's in you, something's wrong with you. You're not paying attention. I was like, I am, and I always did it with like a smart aleck response. Like, what did I just say? And I can just recite like 30 seconds of information back, and it's happened hundreds of times in my lifetime. Whether it be somebody in school, anybody, like, you're not paying attention, and then I'll recite word for word and their exact tone and how they articulated it, and then it makes them feel like, ooh. I'm like, yeah, well, just because I'm here, I got long monkey arms. I don't like I'm all just dangling down all the time. Sometimes I want to hold them up here and lock them up a little bit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, you can't pick up those tones, man. It's easy to be hostile over social media, like, dog, man, bro, such and such. If I have beef with you and I say it, in public, like face to face,
you gonna know.
I'm gonna get a vibe, because if I see you, your hands kind of get, closed up and your body language starts changing, that warns me that if I keep going, we may be throwing hands, or I put the brakes on the train, slow it down. But on social media and things like that, you can keep chopping someone down, because all you gotta do is put your phone down, hit the little sleep button, and get back to, hey, you chilling, and there's nothing. But back in, back when I didn't exist and you were trying to talk noise. Johnny, we're gonna fight 3 p.m. after school.
I'm outside. Come on.
That's it. Yeah, because you talking all this noise. Like, yo, at 3 p.m. in front of the bus 12, we're gonna get after it. And you're gonna throw hands, you're not gonna show up, they're gonna use a chump, and you can't back it up. But on social media, man, you can just blast somebody, and then it can warrant the wrong interpretation. Like a lot of relationships. Hey, like you said, texting back people at a certain time frame. Yeah. I'm a person that, when you want me to text you back immediately, I'll do it in some sort of like a pushback response. Like, I'm not going to text you because I know you want it.
Damn.
And yeah, that's a bit mean. But the idea is, I always say, until you pay my phone bill, then I'm on your time. But I'm on.
Wow. That's deep.
I'm on my own time.
Yeah.
And I don't want that phone next to me all the time. You know what I'm saying? I always leave it in the room, on the couch. You know what I'm saying? And I've been so careless about it that I'm cool. I'll leave it in the car. I'll be in the gym, kidding. Like, okay, I got the Apple Watch and I got the what's it called?
The drip.
I got the cellular Apple Watch, right?
Okay.
And I got it for a deal. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a hustler. I'll be looking for deals.
Hey, you
so
got to. I only buy this stuff on coupons. You got to.
Yo, man, bro, so man, forget it. I didn't even read that story. That's another one. That's a can of beans we're trying to eat tonight.
Yeah.
So I got it, and then I was like, okay, and I went to AT&T. I was like, yo, so how much does it cost to get this linked up to the phone? She said $10, and I was like, $10 a month? That's 120 spanks a year. I was like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, what's $10? And I was like, realistically, okay, that's two $5 meals a month. I was like, that's not bad. I break it down into meals because people spend a lot of money on food. We all know we do. I was like, that's two $5 meals a month. I said, that's not much. And then I go, where's my freedom at?
Wow. What was the response?
I go for a run. I go for a walk. I leave something. Where's my freedom at? If I want to like leave my phone somewhere and just go out and just be with myself or with anybody. It can be with my girlfriend, be with anybody, and don't have to get contacted. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Because when I have a first watch, where people didn't know that this is the first generation where when you legit left your phone for X amount of yards, whatever the case was, that you weren't getting no messages. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
People are like, don't you have the watch? I'm like, I do, but turns out you don't know what's going on, and that doesn't exist yet. And then once it existed, now everybody, I know you got that watch, so I know you saw my message. Now I'm like, yo, it's not connected. It's not connected. It's not connected. Yeah. I don't want to have to get back to you because you have texting anxiety.
You don't want to feel entitled to. Like
they feel like since I reached out to you, you have to like back in the day in our parents' day. You know what I'm saying? Your parents are probably not as old as my parents. Aren't that old. I mean, they're like my dad's late 50s, mom's like mid 50s.
Yeah, my dad's like.
And okay, so you called a house and. If like, hey, hello, yeah, this is Mary. Is my dad? Is Tommy there? No, he hasn't got home from school yet. Okay, tell him I called. That's it.
Straight up.
Boom. You get home. Mom's like, yo, your friend John called. And you call him. He at the house.
Right.
And he had like, okay. So we're doing it right now. Look, so my phone's being fixed right now. Right? My little display's acting out. iPhones, they got problems, but I love them. I'm gonna sell out. I ain't gonna lie. I'm sell it to Apple.
Right.
I'm using my iPad, you know what I'm saying? And I only can text people with iPhones when I'm on Wi-Fi, which I'm cool with that. Like, I ain't even trying to hit nobody up. And I can't do very much.
Right.
So when I was telling you, like, I'm coming to the spot, I had to get my situation together. I had to, I went and made sure I Googled it. I saw where it was at on the map. I go, okay, I know where I'm going. I know where this is at.
So you went through the road. Like, you saw the map and you pictured it out in your brain.
Yeah.
And then drove that way.
Yeah, that was it.
You smart. Yo, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
I was like, you have to plan things out. I told my girlfriend, I was like, hey, this was when we watched Lion King at the drive-in. Yeah. I told her, I said, look, I get off work at 7. I'm going to be over by 8 o'clock.
On the dot.
Yeah, I said 8 o'clock. So I got up for 7. I went to the house. I changed everything up. I went over there without a cell phone, without being able to call her, like, babe, I'm on the way. Do you want to get... Yo, and we were trying to get food, but I couldn't tell, like... You know, when you're driving, it's easy. Like, yo, place the order. You texting, what do you want to go get? I couldn't do that. I was like, I got to wait till I get there to make a plan.
Dang.
And it felt good, man. It really did feel good to have to actually plan things out.
I can only imagine.
And yeah, all this, like... You know, the answering machine, that was tight, you know what I'm saying? Boom, you get to the house. Ooh, hey, this is Sister Johnson from church. I was wondering if we were having prayer service on Wednesday. Give me back. You know what I'm saying? So the idea with this quick response society, it's made us like babies. Oh, you know, you didn't say nothing. I know you saw my post. How come you didn't like it? Yeah. Do I have to? I liked it. When
I saw it.
Do I have to like it to show that you liked it?
Yeah. Or this new thing, it's like I know you're not gonna know my messages like that, or I know you're finna respond sometime soon, or something like that. Yeah. It's like, yo, what?
Red receipts? Yeah, man.
Yeah. Yo, I'm glad I don't have those. I'm an Android guy. Yeah. I don't have those. I don't know how it's like for you guys, but
don't you have like check marks?
Nah,
yeah, but it has to be iPhone. Sure. It has to be iPhone on iPhone. Black on black crime. And you have to have them on. Yeah. And in a sense, it's anything crackhead. It can be good or it can be dangerous.
It could.
You see what I'm saying? Because, for instance, my older brother, he has his on, and when I send him a message and I see that he read it and I get a response back, I'm like, he's at work, he's getting things done. I'm like, whatever. Mm-hmm. That's me just in general. Like with my girlfriend, I'll text her and in the morning, like, hey, I hope you have a good day, since whatever the case is. Mm-hmm. And then I don't get a message back till like 4 hours later. I'm not fretting.
She was at work.
I'm like, cool. And she goes, and she gets me back, hey, I left my phone on the bed when I went yada yada. I'm like, you don't gotta explain to me. I was like, I'm cool. Like, you get back to me when you can, because I know I know you will. Mm. It's not about, you didn't text me. Are you okay? I have to say hate. Not a big person of. I'm not a hate proponent. I hate when people like in a couple hours don't text back. Are you okay? Is everything fine? The way you interpreted, the way that they read the last message, like it seemed like you were upset.
It's like, why?
It didn't seem like that. You just read it with an angry tone.
With an angry
Nobody
tone.
asked
You read it
like
from
that.
your perspective.
There's this story in the Bible, man, and this old man.
Good old book.
Yeah, this old man, he can't read, right? So his son sends him a letter, and the guy's like, "Dear Dad, I'm over here." We'll just make up, whatever the case is. I'm over here in Jerusalem, and I need you to come get me. They won't let me free. Please help me, Dad. Mm. And then he's like, "My son, I'm coming." And then he gets down the road, whatever the days are, and then he's like, tells the guy, "Can you read it to me again? So, I need to just say it again." And the guy was like, "Dear Dad, I'm here in Jerusalem." And he was like, "Well, forget that dude. Forget that kid. Hope he died." You know what I'm saying? Because it's the tone. And we all know tone is massive. You know what I'm saying?
Big time.
So texting, there's not a lot of tone. You have to really, and we all pass probably English with like a C, most of us.
Hey, not me. No, I pass A-B. A's and B's in English. That's my forte right there.
I got B's and C's, G.
Nah, you get a math though. That's what we corrected that. So that's all that matters. But hey.
But no, the idea is it's a lot easier. My girlfriend, she's getting good at that too, because not that one is better than the other, but iron sharpens iron, and it takes something sharp to sharpen something a little bit dull.
Right.
I told her, like, hey, look, if you got to call me to clarify something in 30 seconds, just do it. She'll call, hey, so such and such. No. Yeah, it's cool. Mm. He goes, oh, okay. That's it. Instead of like the text being like this awkward text.
So the scale isn't tipped. It's kind of a little bit balanced now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, man, it's crazy. It really is crazy, the side that we live in, and there's so many things, so many topics to explore.
Right.
And the way I operate, I'm like racquetball, man. I should just banging that ball and the ball. It just starts hitting everything, and it's hard. I don't claim ADD, but I'm sure if I went and got an exam, they would say, "You have ADD, pal, and you need to be on medication." Nah, fam. Turns out my ADD makes me who I am.
Yo, thank you. People don't understand it. I feel like it's a blessing to have a disability on this planet. I feel like it is.
You push the envelope pretty far.
Okay. Well, I did. But like, for example, autism, ADD. I feel like it's a blessing to have that, because I know this a dude with autism, right? And he's one of the smartest dudes I've ever met.
Yeah, those guys are brilliant.
But he's disconnected to the world, and for him, it's kind of lucky. It's kind of like Bird Box, where the blind are kind of like benefiting. You know what I'm talking about? Because
we're gonna interrupt this commercial. I haven't watched Bird Box
because
I refuse to hop on the hype train.
Wow.
Bird Box. I'm gonna watch it in my own time whenever it's not relevant anymore.
Okay.
And before Netflix boots it off. That's when I'm gonna watch it. I'm not gonna watch when everybody else watches, because they're like, "Oh, did you watch Bird Box? You're not cultured, you swine."
Well, I didn't ruin it for you. I didn't ruin it for you.
Stop it right there.
Let me make sure it's still quick, just to make sure. But I didn't ruin it for you. How's it not recorded? Hey, man, this podcast might just be all audio. I'll record that. Oh, the battery died. Wow. Well, luckily, I got the battery checked. I guess it might just be mostly audio, which is good.
That's cool, man.
Most of the views come from the audio.
Yeah.
So we straight. But
you watch any podcasts yourself?
Yeah. Oh, big time.
You into JRE?
Man, look, I haven't seen any of his stuff. I have not. I will though.
He has a lot, so
I'm gonna watch that Elon Musk one first.
I'm so fascinated with intelligent people, because I feel like I'm highly intelligent, though my academics do not show that. I feel that I'm intellectually inclined.
Yeah.
And I have a what's the word? I want to make sure I say it right.
Rhymes with.
I am enlightened further than other people. I have a greater enlightenment than other people, and that's my downfall.
We'll just do audio. Because it's bugging. But
my downfall is my perspective, whatever degree I'm at in this point in space that we talked about earlier, I don't have many people that I know around me, unless I hear people like on podcasts and like just on the internet. There's other people that are not around me, that not in my clique.
Yeah.
And it's tough, man, because I see things so differently. My perspective is.
You feel like
It's not different, but it's not in the normal percentile. Because I have a problem with normalities. I'm a big person. Like, what's a normality? Like, okay, so you have to graduate high school, then you got to go to college, and you got to get a job. All these things, right? I'm like, okay, so what about the other people who don't do it?
And those are the successful ones. When you're being honest with it, those are.
Well, see, most of them. Man, as a math guy and as like an entry level kind of math guy in a sense, there's so many numbers that you can pull, and yes and no. So people who, like if you look at like what's it called, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, all those jokers there, and Mark Zimmerman or what's that?
Mark Zuckerberg.
I'm glad I don't even know his name. Praise the Lord.
Yeah.
Thieve and him. The idea is, it doesn't really matter, but the idea is whenever it clicks in your mind, you need to hop on that.
Fast.
You need to hop on that because, man, it doesn't take long. Like, you're not the only person to have a certain idea. Yeah, you can, make it your own, but it's a want and need society.
Yeah.
And we got to figure out where we want to be at. There's people who, as my dad would call them, pencil and paper pushers, and they like that. And there's some people who go and do that because they're told that you can make money or it's an easy 9 to 5, and they hate it.
Right.
So you hear a lot of entrepreneurs talk about like, they kind of cut against the grain, this 9 to 5 grain. And the only reason why it is, in a sense, this terminology of 9 to 5 is because of back in the day, they had these labor laws, right? And it was like, okay, we're working kids. And then the government says you can't do that anymore. You can't work kids X amount of age. And it goes, well, we're working these adults 7 days a week. And they're you can't call it slavery, but in a sense, we're working them 7 days a week. And they go, no, we're going to call it a weekend. So you only work 5 and you get 2 off. And so all these things that are built from our past, we still hold them today. And I know it will change because that's the fact.
That's how it should be.
That's how that was introduced, and it's still in play, but it's fading out.
Right.
It's going to fade out. Maybe not in my lifetime, maybe my kid's lifetime, maybe my grandkids' lifetime. But the idea is things will fade out. So I'm not a person like, you got to keep pushing for progress at every point in time, because without that, then that's when the stagnation happens, and we don't want that. But everything up until this point, it was a brilliant idea. It was a good idea. It was something that we needed, but it has to keep evolving and changing.
So you feel like you basically, as a person, you're in your own little planet. Basically, you're your own little world. Sadly.
Yeah.
What do you mean sadly? That's a good thing. Because I feel the same way too.
It's not because what's it called? We need other people in our lives. Period.
Oh, big time.
That's why, like, what's the worst thing that can happen in prison?
Be by yourself, or just die.
Alive. What's what? Yeah, mine's die. He's like, you can die. You can get a bad case of the squirts. No.
What's the worst thing that happened in prison?
Yeah, no, like as a punishment, outside from killing you, what do? They put you
in a chair.
Outside from killing you. They put you in solitude.
That's what I said. You can be alone.
Yeah, but you said you can be alone.
Yeah,
because the Mayans predicted your aloneness does not mean that there's nothing they say. Okay, no. The worst thing that they can do to you in prison, outside from killing you, is put you by yourself.
The big white room.
That's if you're insane. If you're not insane, they put you in a regular room, man.
That's even worse.
These movies be depicting things that are incorrect.
They really do.
But the idea is they put you by yourself, right? By yourself, they slide. I would imagine they can, because there's got to be some sort of humane aspect to it. But whatever the case is, I'm not gonna dig into those.
There's like a little,
into those peaches. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they can give you the.
We all watch Beyond Scared Straight.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Yeah, right.
We all watch it.
So it's to be alone. So when I say it's not that great to be on my own planet, it's not. I like being there. My insight, the way I look at things, man, I'm like Captain Benefit of the Doubt, because in every person there's good.
Facts.
Period, man. Like criminals, felons, anything that we deem as society as negative, in every person there's some good. And we have to help pull it out of somebody, because it's so easy. It's way easier for me to be fed up with you, say some things that aren't nice, and bounce, than for me to like try and mend ends and be like, yo, we're different, but we got from the wrong foot, such and such, I'm sorry. it's
Trying to find a good other people.
it's easier to be mean and to quit
Facts.
than it is to extract someone's good side, their love, their happiness. It's harder to do that. It really is. That's why relationships always fail, friendships fail, things like that. They fail so easily because it's easier to opt out.
Dang.
Okay, taking an exam, passing an exam, it's easier to fail it.
Oh yeah, big
You
time.
don't do anything.
You walk out.
To pass it, it's hard. That's the same thing. It's the same principle.
Right. And to pass it with the A+, it's even harder.
It's a bit tough being on my planet.
Right.
And I need to find a name for it. That'd be pretty tight. But it kind of sucks to be on my planet because my perspective is so different, and it's not normal. I remember when I was a kid. Like I said, I got those 5 brothers, and we all got in trouble, right? And I think my older brothers, they were fighting, and they're like in some sort of a grip lock. We watched a lot of WWE back in the day, and the dude backed into a wall and pretty much made like a turtle shell hole in the wall, right? And I was like, yo, man, we in trouble. Oh, man, you know what I'm saying? I was a sissy. I was a crybaby back in the day.
I'm about to get busted.
Yeah. So my dad comes in, he finds out. We try to hide it. We move a picture frame up there. He's like, why is that moved? It's so awkward, man. I'm telling you.
I'm dead.
So he's like, yo, you're first. And my dad would say, if the oldest person fails at being a leader, it's the second person's job. And it keeps trickling down to where the youngest is the leader and you have to obey him, air quote. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So he's like, you're first. I was like, why me? And he was getting after saying, you're such. And I started crying. And I was like, this is racist. And he started laughing. He goes, what? I said, this is racist. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, this is not fair. You're treating me wrong. I didn't do anything, and you're picking on me. I said, this is racist. And he's like, you're using the wrong word, but you're using it correctly. What? Because what is like someone being racist? Like treating you different.
Isolating you, really.
Picking on you for something that you didn't do, that you didn't ask for. You didn't ask to be black, African. I didn't ask to be mixed minority.
For being what you're not. Yeah.
And I was like, yo, Dad, you're choosing me, and I didn't do it. I wasn't there. I wasn't around. Like, this is racist. And that was like the beginning of my downfall as my perspective was different.
Okay.
So, yeah. But
okay. Let me bring a counter argument to that, because I feel like, in a sense, it's kind of a good thing. Because, okay, I'm in my, and I have a name for mine. Fab's universe is what I call it. I'm in my own universe. Okay, I'm in my own planet, and that's how I think. Because I'm the type of guy where, so growing up from where I grew up, right? When I came to the States, right. I was all African. I came to the States. My first best friend was he was Indian, and his name was, I remember his name because his name was Yassine Nazarali. I don't know what he does. He might be driving an Uber or a pizza driver. You know what I'm talking about? Delivering pizzas. Who knows? But that was my first best friend. He was my guy because I know we went to the before school started. We had like 45-minute period gap. We go to the library and go on cool math games. You know what I'm talking about? And put the little games on there. So that was my guy, right? And then after that, he kind of dipped out on me a little bit. So I went solo for a while. And then I moved school. And then I had a couple of black friends, you know, from like when I say stereotypical black people, I'm talking about stereotypical black people. I had those. And then I went to high school. And then pretty much most of my friends are either white or Hispanic. So I've been all over the place, a couple of Asian friends or whatever. So from my experience, what I know and like is usually what most people do. I think I'm a jack of all trades, basically. Right. So I'm great at a lot of stuff, but I'm master of nothing at all. Right? So I can talk about, there's not much that anyone can talk to me about that I don't know. Right? If you talk to me about something, I know at least a little bit of it. You know what I'm talking about? So it's like, that's how I feel about it, and I feel like I'm in my own universe and thoughts, because I'm the type of dude that I can just be watching basketball straight, and then soccer straight, and then go watch some LGBTQ plus parade straight, and then come back and watch anime, and still be in my own little like conscious world. You know what I'm talking about? And that's one of the things that I've been single for so long, because I don't think you can find a girl that can do all that.
You say that, but there's so many people out there, man. There's just too many people to assume that there's not somebody out there who, and it's not that they have to, because I think what I want to include myself on that, get so caught up with is finding someone who's like a clone of who we are. A clone. That's true. And I don't want a clone.
You don't. Because you hate yourself. Well, not hate yourself. But.
No, because what else can I explore? What else can I learn? Oh. I can't. Okay, so I tell you something right now, like you're talking about. I love Chinese food, right? And I've never really dabbled in Indian food. I met my girlfriend, and then we started eating some Indian food, right? I I can't say I would have never, but she introduced me to Indian food, and now I like it.
And you explored it with her.
So, and there's some things like, for instance, like she likes the sunset and she likes sunflowers, and whatever she likes is her different things compared to what I like. And then I go, how can you get more out of life? Enjoy more things, right? And I was like, okay, well, if she can enjoy the sunset, if I can learn and start enjoying the sunset, that's one more item in my toolbox that I can enjoy. Instead of like how I used to look at it, like, okay, all day, every day, well, up, down, up, sun's up, down, sun's up, down, sun's up, down. And then now I'm like, okay, I can look at it like, wow, that's nice, man. Look at the colors, the way she'll say, look at those colors, look at that, man. Look how, because it's beautiful, it's great. When you realize, like, yo, we are on a sphere in space, spinning and flying.
Yo, we in the same universe, because I think the same way.
I'm like, yo, like, a lot of times when I get, like, caught up with, not really caught up with work, because I never get caught up, but when they try and hit me, like, what's it called? Like a linebacker, you know what I'm saying? Hit him with that LaDainian Thompson stale leg. You know what I'm saying? Hit him with that stank leg and juke out the way. I'm like, man, there's something far beyond this petty, I got to pass this exam. I got to get to work at, 10 o'clock. They say you can't be later than 5 minutes or you're going to get these points. And I got to make sure, oh, man, the store's closing. Oh, man, I got to get, like, there's so much more.
On the spinning globe.
Man, we're in
space.
Yeah, like when it's hot outside, it's because our axis has changed directions. It's tipped, and we're closer to the sun,
and if we get closer,
and it's hotter. Like what's going on here? And we just think that's normal. Oh, it's summertime, and we give it all these names just to water it down, and it's like a crappy version of some good Kool-Aid.
Honestly, and like if I put my arm straight out and I multiply like 7 gazillion times, and it reaches some other planet like 3 light years away, might be me again, just doing a completely different life.
That's the beauty of science. Is, man. That's why okay, so I get confused because I'm dyslexic, or my brother likes to call it ligdeslic.
Really? I'm dead. Okay.
I forgot which hemisphere, as in your brain is artistic and then analytical. So I know I'm more artistic. I'm a musician. I'm an artist.
Right.
I love art. I love music, and I do both. I do that. But I'm a trained and in training mathematician. So my thing is like, you know what? Why not both? They always try and tell you one thing. Devil's a lie.
Facts.
See, I already have the natural inclination to be a musician, to do art, view art. Everyone can view art, but the ideal is there's so much going on that I don't want to be the person who's so wrapped up in what society can give me, rather than me trying to give something to society.
Right, because when you do pass away, it's not who you are;
Man,
it's what's your impact on this planet.
Okay, so you become the 1 percentile. You have the money. You have everything. What do? You peacock.
Damn.
You peacock. You say, "Look at me. Look what I've achieved. Look what I have." And sometimes you can achieve it. Sometimes you're given that. Either way, it doesn't matter. But you peacock. Look at this Ferrari. And there's nothing wrong with anything, because I like to think sometimes that I'm like, I love cars. I'm a car guy.
Right.
And I go, man, it's amazing that this is. It shakes me all the time. Every time I think of like things that we have.
Right.
I'm like, this is a car. This is like, there's tires. There's mechanical components, and it does things that's incredible.
Yeah.
And it was made from materials that are found on Earth. Not in this way that it is like, you don't just like, you're just digging somewhere in the Congo and you find a tire. You don't just find like, oh yeah, like it's not there.
It's a piece of a car I'll build next year.
Yeah. What is this? No, it's not there, man. It's materials, and we've over time and figured to manipulate our environment, and all of a sudden we have cars, houses, cell phones, cameras,
empires.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
So the idea is, for what I'm doing with my life, I don't want to just receive something or have something. I want to give something back. I want to do something for somebody else, because if you look at any empire that has given things back, it's more successful.
Big time. Big time.
Look at the Romans, man. They always greed. They want to take over everything. The Egyptians, I don't know much about them joints. That's a whole other podcast, and it's only Egyptians, bro, and the Sumerians.
Mm-hmm. Yo, they had a whole like different lifestyle. Everybody else really.
Bro.
Yeah.
So the idea is, in our point in time now, and that's why I like the science fields, like the concrete sciences, like the physics, the mathematics, the chemistry.
Pure facts.
I believe in God, so people like I can't like I'll look at a building and be like, okay, so you can walk into a grocery store and buy things, right? And you're gonna tell me that once upon a time an explosion happened in space. And all of a sudden, fast forward like 14.8 billion years, and I'm walking into a Walmart to buy some toilet paper. Like, you guys, come on.
You guys.
What
do you mean?
Look, it's just as mythical as saying like God exists. I would rather blame it on somebody who, like a game creator. We play Grand Theft Auto. You can do a lot of things with Grand Theft Auto. What if we're in a sophisticated game? There's so many. This is more cans of beans that we don't need to be opening right now.
Yeah. What if it's a simulation? Yeah.
We don't know.
Somebody's outside just looking at us through a box.
We can be a sophisticated program, but we all have the same algorithm. We have emotions. We have love. We have hate. We have anger. Today I noticed it. We went to go eat some pizza, me and my family, right? Mm-hmm. And my little niece, she's like 3 in like, I don't know, a couple months, right? Yeah. And my mom was, how old was my mom? She's like 54. And my little niece was saying the age of her parents. I was like, how old is your dad? And she was like, 29. And I was like, how old your mom? 29. And I was like, how old are you? 29. I was like, you're not 29. And then I like looked and I was like, hold on. I was like, all little like babies are, like people go have a baby. No, you have an adult. You have a person that's going to grow up to be something, contribute or take away from somebody or something.
Right.
And I was like, realistically, the next 100 years, nobody from the age, I would say, because science and technology get better, where we can, probably elongate our lives a bit more. Mm-hmm. But the next 100 years, just about everybody on the face of this earth is going to be dead. And it's going to be a new selection of people. Right. And then you realize, like, how much we don't mean
to anything.
Because, like, there was some, at the same time, my little niece is 3, another table, there was an older man. He had to be in his 80s, man. He came in like the what's it called? Mechanic jumpsuit. It was clean jumpsuit. Like, it wasn't dirty. It was clean. Right. And his wife was in a wheelchair and he was pushing her around. He had a head full of hair and you can tell they were old. And then I was like thinking, they couldn't get around well, right? Mm-hmm. I was like, at one point in time, they were my age, 26. Right. He was probably strong as an ox, just getting things done. And he never pictured himself pushing, if he was married or not at that point in time, push his wife around because she can't walk. And him struggling walking. That's great. We don't picture ourselves that way. Yeah. But at one point in time, that's going to happen. So when you think of the grand scheme, like, are you for real? Like, all we do is just keep living and dying, and that forever happens. Right. And then, and granted, we're all different people. Right. We have like a different spirit, if you will, inner being. All of that while rotating on a ball in space on an axis. Destined for explosion. Right. That's destined to collide with something that is destined. Just because it's not in our time frame, in the grand scheme of time, we're nothing. We're blinking an eye. But in the grand scheme of time, that's gonna happen
eventually. Maybe not in our lifetimes, but maybe like 300 million years from now. Who knows?
But what's time to compare to this Big Bang that happened 14.8 billion
years ago?
That's
actually facts. Yeah, because maybe that Big Bang is like a light year.
If you think back to the Bible, I don't know where it's at. I paraphrase everything because I never learned anything when I was in church. But it says like God saying like, what's it called? 1 day is 1,000 years to me, and 1,000 years is 1 day.
It's 1 day.
So it's like, hold on, time out, champ, time out.
Yeah.
What is going on here?
Let me understand.
It's a reference to time. You know what I'm saying? And we're still figuring out, things in the physics world and the quantum physics.
We haven't got that yet.
Yeah, but and things that we're learning about that is, explode in every angle.
Imagine.
It's crazy. So to say all that, say this. That's why I really adore the sciences, man. Because the sciences, they really are doing things for mankind. With Neil Armstrong, what he said when he hopped off, him and Buzz.
Shout out to Buzz.
You're right, shout out to Buzz. I'm waiting for one of them to say something on their deathbed. Let us know what's really. Let us know what really happened.
And if you're watching, I said it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, but yeah, it's so mind-boggling that it's very easy to get caught up. I do it myself in this world and what's going on. And so a lot of times I like to stop and just like, okay, I'm driving a car. I'm eating food. I'm using a spatula. It's odd things that I stop and I go like, what am I doing?
What
here?
am I doing on this ball?
Yeah.
On an axis.
Like, what's going on? Like, we're just like the sun rises at the east and then lowers at the west. It's just what happens.
That's what happens.
Like what?
That's crazy.
What's going on?
Right.
Like, it's so systematic. Like a video game. It's
That's
so
why,
systematic.
That's why I feel like we're all the same, right? Because okay, think about it this way: Beyonce and I are literally the same.
No, you're not. Okay.
But think about it this way.
I need you to reel me in, man.
Right, but think about it this way. You and I are also the same too.
Yep.
Right? And here's how. When Beyonce and I was born, okay, I'm not Destiny's Child, but
I ain't saying your name.
but we're all born with the same thing, okay? We're born with a soul, obviously. Mm-hmm. We were born with a tragic event in our life. Maybe it happened to her, or maybe it's going to happen. Maybe it happened to me, I'm not realizing it, or it's going to happen in the future. Everyone has a tragic event that makes them who they are. Some more tragic events than most. And number 3, we all have, so basically she can go about every day of her life and she will always have something to worry about. She will always have, and then that's number 3. Number 4, we'll always have our crack, aka our addictions. Mm-hmm. We all have our addictions because that's what shapes us and makes us realize that how do we deal with it. And you can put addiction also as sin because it's what keeps you from becoming your best.
Yep.
Now, as she's Beyonce, she's already figured out what her addiction is, her sin is, and how to conquer it, right? And I don't know what mine is, or maybe I do, or how to figure it out, right? And how to move forward from it. So, in that sense, we're really all the same person.
Yeah.
Right? So, and you get what I'm saying? Now, I'm not really going crazy with the idea, but obviously she's a female or whatever, but yeah, we all have that same 4 things in my eyes, from my perspective. Now, she has more mind than me or whatever, but that's just looking at it from a human perspective.
What does that buy her, though?
Exactly. That's why. But I mean, it can buy her the most luxurious things.
This is what we're talking, like, this kind of goes to the thing of, like, social media.
Yeah.
But, like, you're right with your points, in a sense. Mm-hmm. We're no different from one another. Like, when disaster strikes.
Right. You're all the same people.
You can't... Mother Nature, nobody is above her.
Facts.
Nobody.
She got all the...
When you get when the blizzard happens, I don't care if you Beyonce and Jay-Z.
I'm a hit regardless. It's a business.
Yeah. When a tsunami comes, I don't care if you Beyonce and Jay-Z. Mm. It don't matter. Mm. If famine ever struck, it don't matter. It boils down like before we started the podcast talking about roaches. Like, yo, okay, are we keeping them out? Or are we stopping them from coming in?
Dang.
See what I'm saying? So we've built up this false sense of security when we are not above anything.
Not even ourselves.
Think of like animals in captivity. Why are we so amused by these animals in zoos? I love zoos. I have to say, I love zoos. I love animals. I'm not a big dog lover. I'm not gonna lie to y'all right now.
Wow.
I'm
shook.
I'm definitely a cat lover. I'm a cat guy.
Okay.
But I love animals, and I look at all the different ones that you can see at a zoo or anywhere, and you're like, wow. Okay. But we feel we're superior. I go pay my admission. I get into the zoo. Mm-hmm. I can look at you and take my pictures, and I can go take a pee and go to Souvenir and buy me a little lion
plushie. I guess.
Okay. Now, we bring them into our world, and we're the champs. We're Mike Tyson in our world. Go step foot into their world and tell me how human you feel, how beneath them you feel.
Damn.
Tell me all the malaria, when these bugs start attacking you and you don't have any, who cares about off and things like that can't stop certain things. Let me know when you're in a tent, because it happens, and these jaguars know you're in there.
Right.
And they go through your tent and pull you out and take you. Let me know how human we feel and how much power we have. If you take away all of our false securities.
Right. Because to that lion, it don't matter if I'm me or if I'm Beyonce.
He does not know.
Right. He don't care.
No.
Not one bit.
He may like hesitate, like, yo, she thick, and he may mean it in another way. You see what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm about to eat.
Thick.
I'm about to eat.
I'm
She
about to
thick.
get all my nutrients in there.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Dang.
But the idea is take us out of our environment. You know what I'm saying? And what are we? We're just like how they are in the Congo and a lot of parts of the other world, like in certain parts of Africa, where they still live in huts. In certain parts of like what's it called? The Middle East, where they still live in like adobe houses and straw houses. You're like, yo, and these people, we're in 2019 on this globe.
Yeah.
And yet they're still fishing, they're on boats.
Just doing their own thing.
That's it.
Yeah,
and it's life in its purest, most simplest form, and I guarantee you it's the most enjoyable.
Yeah.
If that's even a word, enjoyablest.
100%.
I can guarantee you, because we're trying to find what they already have. They have a roof over their head. They have family. They have loved ones. They have food. That's it.
That's it. That's all they need.
They don't have status. They don't have this bank account. They don't have everybody coming over for this big old meal, for the barbecue. They're not getting up for watching a game. All these false securities that we have to feel like our life is more important or more valuable than someone else when it's not. Granted, there are certain people, like I said, in the scientific realm, and that includes like what's it called, medicine, that are doing great things to help us as human.
I agree with that.
But what are those great things? Stopping humanistic things that happen to us, cancer.
Yeah, fever.
Okay, so back in the day, when before they can do a C-section, a lot of mothers were dying.
They were dying. Yeah, before
they were dying. A lot of babies were dying. So science and medicine has helped us with just the natural things of birth,
extend our lives further. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, there's nothing more that we need than shelter, food, water, and someone to love. Yeah, food and water and someone to love. That's all that we. And that's all we desire now. But we desire in a different way. I want a big house.
I want a big house.
I want a big house.
It's materialistic now.
I want that fridge, baby.
Yo,
I want that fridge with the Gatorade. You heard?
Yeah, that Tesla.
And then I want a fine wife.
Yeah, she gotta be bad, Kylie Jenner style.
She's that okay. I appreciate you for saying that, but she's whack. But
thank you. Thank you.
That's all we need is something to protect us. Family. And food so we don't die. That's it. And that's all they have in those Congos. And they've been doing it for X amount of years. Whatever you want to make X and you want to make N to the power of K. I don't care what you're doing mathematically. That's what they've been doing. And they're doing just fine. They don't care about the newest iPhone coming out, the Galaxy S53. They ain't worried about that Tesla Model 9. Right. Nothing.
They're doing good.
They just enjoying life, living it peacefully. And that's it.
That's it.
And if you can try and have that, at least that thought pattern, like, okay, what do I really need? Okay, who do I want to be with? Not just in a relationship, but who do I want to be around me to make me feel happy, make me feel good? I can make them feel happy, make them feel good. Because it's not about a me thing; it's about a giving. I'll call it a game of tennis. It's always a game of tennis.
Give and take.
Yeah.
Back and forth.
And then
back and forth.
How am I going to eat? Just 3 simple keys to a happy. What we call life. You know what I'm saying?
What we call life.
What we call life.
Because to a speck of dust is something different.
Oh my, yeah. But the Bible says from dust to dust.
There you go.
So
now before we end the podcast, we're gonna get a little light mooded. I brought up Kylie Jenner. That's a good point to get at because you said she's not all that good, and I agree with you. I don't like the way she looks, right? And for me, I'm personally more of a Zendaya guy.
A who?
A Zendaya guy. Zendaya.
I've heard you the first 2 times.
Just making sure, because you gotta say it 3 times just to get enough. That's how good she is.
I'm so disconnected from the world. I don't know who she is.
What?
I'm not. I could have seen her, but I don't know the name.
What?
I'm telling you that right now.
Zendaya.
Staying in church. I don't know who. I've never heard her name. So maybe I've seen a picture of her, but I've never heard her name.
I mean, it's not like she's the baddest queen of them all. And it's okay. Zendaya, you watch Spider-Man, right? Far From Home.
No, I haven't seen one yet.
Oh my gosh. Euphoria?
That seems familiar, but I don't think I've seen it either. I'm disconnected from the world, bro. I'm telling you right now.
Where was Zendaya at?
I'm disconnected.
Where was Zendaya at? Now I gotta show you a picture, man. Where my phone at? Now I gotta show you a picture. I mean, she's only like the baddest girl in the world.
Okay.
And she's because recently, matter of fact, the reason I brought it up is because recently there was a war over her over Kylie or Salma Rae, and she's basically like Kylie Jenner. This girl, right? Zendaya. You know her.
Oh yeah, I've seen her.
Everybody know her, right?
I wouldn't say that because I feel like I've seen her, but I feel like maybe I haven't now.
Because like she's basically that girl. No, I mean she got no boobs, no butt, right? But to me, she's the prettiest girl in the world. Because when you look at her, you can tell, okay, this girl definitely has some knowledge in her, and she definitely looks like a great person to be around. Because I've seen most of the interviews and all that stuff. Because I did a intensive research.
3 a.m. intensive research.
Nah, I don't know all that. But yeah, I did my research, and bro, like she definitely has a personality to back it up. And I'm more of a personality type of guy, and most of the world is until you get to America, where it's all superficial. But yeah, and that's why I brought that up, because it's like, okay, Kylie Jenner is getting all these views because she's with Travis Scott, and it always seems like the baddest of them all just got to be dating some kind of black guy or foreign guy or whatever, and it seems as though like it's kind of flipped to where if you're making it in any sort of genre, you got to get a girl with the baddest butt or the front or whatever. So it's like, where did this disfiguration come from, where we can't just look at our queens and be like, oh, she's beautiful even if she ain't got no assets or whatever. So I don't know. That's just what my personal opinion is. Might be some people that are watching that'll be like, or listening, might be like, nah, she definitely got to have A and B or C. But for me, it's like,
it turns out it goes through Z. So
it goes,
if you have A and B, when you run through those for those 5 minutes, if you catch my drift, you got to deal with C, D, E all through Z. And that stuff in the kitchen, that's when you get upset, because all she do is throw mac and cheese on the pot, and then she dirty, and then she can't clean. And it's not about a woman doing cooking and cleaning,
right?
But things that, at the end of the day, there's the physical stimulation and there's the intellectual stimulation. If you can't find the best combination for you, because we all need that differently, then you're definitely toast. I definitely, this is my perspective. Everybody wants to gravitate towards a bad girl, because society says the girl with the big booty, the girl with the big chest. That's where you want to get at.
That's where you want to get at.
But after that's all said and done, you got to deal with them intellectually.
Right.
And if they're not your speed, it's hard for someone to slow down their speed. It really is. And I've had a big thing for like chubbier girls, and I like thick. Beyonce. I'm talking like chubbier girls.
Okay.
Because in the society, they're put into a different place.
Facts.
And they have more. They have. Okay, I don't want to be too general, but just catch the high percentile.
Okay.
They have more to give.
I agree.
They have more to give.
They're more wholesome, queen-like.
They're more wholesome. They're more woman. Okay, potentially. All these are potentials, gentlemen and ladies, if you're listening. Potentially more. And because it's so easy, like when a girl thinks, I see it all the time at the store that I work at. All these girls come in and they think that they're magically like gifted to, like you're not a gift to society. Baby girl, I guarantee you that there's somebody fine as wine in the Congo, and she ain't got no nothing on.
Right. But she bad.
I guarantee it.
Personally.
At the end of the day, all that is just genetics. Outside from all these bums out there getting all this surgery.
All this injection.
Because Kylie Jenner have baloney lips, cuz. You see what I'm saying? Baloney lips. Y'all ever had the baloney? Y'all ever seen the baloney?
99 cents. 99 cents baloney.
Baloney lips.
Yep.
All these curves that are, and the thing is there someone who actually has curves like that, and they lose, and they're discredited, or they're sought after more, and it's not their fault. It's just given because the genetics gave them that. At the end of the day, we just have our genetic Russian roulette, if you will.
Right.
Whatever you get, you get.
Whatever you get, yeah.
And there's so many girls, like when we talk about makeup, there's so many girls who have to try and pretend to be all these famous people, and people social media. I gotta squat. If I want a man, and then us guys, it's definitely our fault because we're pursuing that.
Yeah.
If we change our pursuit to something else, change our pursuit to someone's mind and someone's heart, then we'll get the better version of them.
That's real.
So, yeah, okay. So that girl you showed me, she was popping for sure. Yeah. The Beyonce's is popping. Yeah, there's a bunch of women out there that are fine. But I always like to say, take away one of your senses, pluck your eyes out. Okay.
No, is she still bad?
She's still bad when you're talking.
Cause she make food.
Can you hear it? And you're like, whoa, girl, the way you sound, you make me happy. And then, okay, now stab your eardrums out. You know what I'm saying? Right. And then she cooks. And the food's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So there's things that you need to figure out, and like I said, that's okay for the majority of people. It's what's normal is just a percentile, and no percentile. Okay, what's the hardest way? Like efficiency is the hardest to get to 100.
100. Normal.
So the normality is nowhere near those high numbers. So if 69% of people say such and such, 31% are something else. And it's not even that, because it's spliced so many times greater than that. So at the end of the day, you gotta go out there and figure out what you want. Is not what, as a mom was a kid with the Jonas. Make sure it ain't what the Jonases want.
That's real.
Go get what you want.
Go get your own.
Go do what you want to do. Do what makes you happy. Because whenever you do that, that's when you finally, I can't say become who you are, but allow your inner to be your outer.
To be out.
And not your outer shell your inner.
Dang.
That's all it's doing, because we just put on this fake thing. Like, I know everybody's seen that meme of Jamie Foxx when it says, like, when it's not in tax season, he has like that whack haircut, like he has fro, and then tax season comes and he's faded and blazed. You see what I'm saying? So we got to make sure that we do our best. And there's certain people out there, like I know Rihanna, she has that makeup line, but she's doing her best, like, to be natural.
Be natural, yeah.
I know she has pressures to not be natural, because everybody has their blemishes and their faults.
Oh yeah.
I believe it was Selena Gomez. She was doing a campaign to where it was women love who you are, and you don't have to use makeup, things like that.
It was Me Too before Me Too.
Yeah. So there's people out there trying. So everyone's not deemed bad. Like I said, it's good crackheads and bad crackheads. And the more good crackheads we have, man, the better society will
improve and move forward.
Man, it'll improve and move forward. And at the end of the day, everything since the time of Dawn has had an antagonist and a protagonist, period. So you can't get rid of that.
At all.
You just can't. You just gotta. At the end of the day, and it does happen. The I don't know which one's the protagonist. They always win. And it'll continue to be that way. So we just gotta make sure that we keep hyping up the protagonist and doing our best as people to give instead of take.
Right.
Because the more you give, if I give out more and I tell everybody else to give out more, and we all give out more, that means that we receive more. Because I can only give out one. I am only me.
Yeah.
But there's way more millions than me that can give out, which means I receive more. Dang. So quit trying to collect and give more, and if everybody gave more, then we'd all receive more.
Dang, that's all love.
That's simple. That's reciprocity.
And that's all love, man. And we'll end it with that, but thank you, Seth, for coming on the podcast. We're talking about, let people know your at. If you got any ads out here.
My ads is everything is my name, because it's never taken.
Cefereeno.
It's Cefereeno. That's Cefereeno.
I'll make sure to put that on there.
Yeah, you can get at me on. I don't get on Instagram, but I'm on there. You could all that model stuff I'm talking about. You can go scope it out. You know what I'm saying? I ain't worried about you. I don't get on Facebook.
You all in?
You can go add me. I ain't going to accept it because I don't get on there. I get on Snapchat a little bit because my brothers, man, we communicate mostly on Snapchat. Yeah. So if you at me on there, I'll be on there, man. But my main thing is I don't just like. I like in-depth stuff, and I like what's it called, like finding out who someone is. So right. if y'all want to get at me, that's cool. But
at him,
yeah.
Let him know
just
what's
make
up.
sure that it's about that. It's about that slingshot forward.
Okay. Analytics. Yeah. So but that's been the boy Cefereeno, and thank y'all for joining on the podcast. And remember, not everything you hear online is fabricated.